Very warm good evening to one and all present here. I hope you all are doing well. So today in this particular video we are going to learn about tourism in India. So this topic is very important for any type of competitive exam, as well as it is important for SSB lecturate as well as the group discussion topic. So let's begin. The pandemic has affected almost every sector of Indian economy. Perhaps the travel, tourism, and hospitality sectors have been the most affected. Yeah, it's well true because the travel, tourism, and hospitality all are restricted during the lockdown. So, this lockdown has affected this sector the most. And in this particular lecturate video we will talk initially about introduction and then importance of tourism in India, and followed by the recent steps that are taken by our government, and at the end we will conclude by giving a small conclusion. So let's begin. So here is the introduction. India's tourism is ranked 7th in terms of its contribution to the world GDP, according to World Travel and Tourism Council report. So, according to the World Travel and Tourism Council report, the India tourism is ranked 7th in terms of its contribution to the world GDP. So, you can see India contributes very much in the world GDP by its sector in tourism. And now India has 38 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, 30 cultural sites, 7 natural sites, and 1 mixed sites. So UNESCO World Heritage Sites is the great source for the tourist attraction, and India has 38 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And talking about more about the UNESCO, then it is the part of United Nations, and its full form is United Nations Economic Socio-Cultural Organization. So it basically provides protection to all the tourist, the natural heritage sites in the world. So currently India has 38 sites, and Italy and China, they are the countries which has highest number of UNESCO World Heritage sites in the world. They have 55 sites. And in India, last year in 2019, Jaipur as a city, Jaipur, the whole city was added in the UNESCO World Heritage site. And since then India has 38 sites. Now let's talk about the importance of tourism in India. Why this is very important? So the first important factor is employment generation. Yeah, you heard right. The employment generation, due to the tourism in India, millions of people get employment. Travel and tourism account for approximately 8.1% of total employment opportunities in India. So you can just imagine. So out of the total employment, the 8.1% of employment are generated in this sector, the tourism. And in 2019, it contributed 9.3% to India GDP. So it's amazing. It contributes 10% to India GDP, and it contributes more than 8% to employment opportunity. So it's the biggest source of GDP and economic growth. And not only this, the tourism brings foreign tourists in India. And whenever a foreigner comes to visit India, then they come with their respective currency or with the dollar. So because of this, the foreign exchange reserves are coming into India, and it is very good for Indian economy. And next, the foreign tourists insist infrastructural developments, because the most of the European countries, they are neat and clean and their infrastructure are very good. So to hide to overcome this problem, the government needs to focus on infrastructure development. So for example, currently government is doing huge investment in infrastructure in Kashi Vishwanath corridor, and same in various temples, and connectivity to be increased. And next, the soft power of India will be increased. Yeah, the cultural, the tourism, it increases the soft power, and we can play and exercise the cultural diplomacy, which will be helpful to maintain the people to people contact, and hence to maintain the relationship with any other country. Now, talking about the recent steps that are taken by our government, the first step the Udan scheme, which was launched by our Prime Minister in 2015. The Udan scheme is related to travel. It means the Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. It is a scheme under which hundred of airports, the domestic airports, will be constructed, and it will basically boost to the domestic tourism. And next, the Prasad and Swadesh Darshan scheme. Swadesh Darshan, as you can see that Swadesh Darshan, that it is also for the domestic tourism. Actually, in India, due to the poor connectivity, people are not going to the sites. The North Indian rarely go to the Rameswaram, Tiruvananthapuram, or Vivekanand Rock. So, to improve the connectivity, this scheme has been launched, and Prasad scheme is very much in the news. The Prasad full form is Pilgrimage, Rejuvenation, and Spiritual Heritage Augmentation Drive. So, under this scheme, government is trying to connect all the religious pilgrimage sites through the railway or the roadway corridor, super expressway. For example, the Ramayana circuit, recently the Ramayana circuit was constructed, and a train which named the Ramayana Express was launched. Yeah, that train was in the controversy, but that is another topic. We will discuss it sometimes later. But the Ramayana circuit, it will obviously enhance the tourism circuit. The Ramayana circuit is connecting all the sites which are related to Ramayana. For example, it will connect Ayodhya, Sitamarhi, Birganj in Nepal, and even the Janakpur in Nepal, and lastly it will go to the Rameswaram, which is located in the Tamil Nadu, South India. So you can see how much potential we had in this sector, but it takes a lot of time to come to the implementation. And not only the Ramayana circuit, but also the Mahakal Express was launched recently, and famous Buddhist circuits which will be connected, and the natural heritage sites and tourist spots will be connected under this scheme, the Prasad scheme, Pilgrimage Rejuvenation and Spiritual Heritage Augmentation Drive. And now coming to the conclusion. So implementation of projects. Yeah, of course. In India, due to the problem of funding and clearance of the environment clearance or the encroachment of lands, the projects are not completed on time. This is a very big problem in India. So the government must focus on the implementation of all the projects. Actually, I missed some of the points in the recent steps, which was also taken the Bharatmala project and the Sagarmala project, which will enhance the coastal tourism, which will connect, under which the more and more ports will be built, and it will connect the coastal areas, and it will increase the coastal tourism. And now coming again to the conclusion, the project completion should be completed on time, and more the foremost important, the advertising more incredible India, or the God's own country Kerala. This type of schemes must be advertised more and more. The government not need to advertise about their political agenda, but they need to advertise about the tourism awareness. This will obviously enhance the domestic tourism in India. So that's all in this video. I hope you like it. If you like, then please share and subscribe the video. And that's all from my side. Thank you and have a nice day. Good night.